Hello, my name is Andrew Beck, and I am a Project Engineering Specialist with Rubidium Environmental. Today I'm going to discuss the topic of a Phase II Environmental Site Assessment, or ESA for short. Some of the ideas I will cover in this video include: what is a Phase II ESA? Why would you conduct a Phase II ESA on your own property? What is the process of conducting a Phase II ESA on your property? And what are your next steps going to be after the completion of a Phase II ESA? In this video, I'm going to focus on the basics relating to common Phase II ESA scenarios.
Starting off, knowing the purpose of a Phase II environmental site assessment can help you understand what our goals are as your environmental consultant investigating your property. The objective of a Phase II ESA is to quantify the potential and/or actual sources of environmental contamination identified within the subsequent Phase I ESA that was conducted on your property. These sources indicate the types of contaminants that may be present within the soil, groundwater, and/or sediment on your property, and give us a better idea of where they may be found. Physical investigations of the subsurface media would be conducted on your property by sampling the media in the vicinity of these actual and/or potential environmental sources of contamination. Ultimately, the qualified person in charge of conducting or supervising the Phase II ESA needs to investigate all the areas that represent a high risk of contamination on your property and confirm whether or not contamination actually exists. These high risks may include a leaking oil storage tank, historical dry cleaning operations, or an existing gasoline service station, just to name a few.
So the next question we're going to cover is: why would you conduct a Phase II ESA on your own property? Well, Phase II ESAs can assist in property transactions and obtaining development approvals by providing an intrusive understanding of the environmental risks associated with your property. Property owners may be requested by a buyer to provide a Phase I and II ESA as part of the condition of sale. This will give the buyer a much better understanding of the environmental condition of your property, which may be used to leverage price or may be required by the buyer's lender for financial approval. It is very important to know that the owner of the property inherits the environmental liability associated with that property. So understanding the extent of the liability is important in a property transaction. Next, we are going to cover how a Phase II environmental site assessment is conducted. A Phase II ESA is conducted by sampling the superficial soil, the subsurface soil, and the groundwater within the vicinity of the high-risk areas identified during the Phase I ESA. The subsurface soil can be investigated by advancing boreholes to a depth specified within the investigation, extracting the soil from the ground, and observing it. The groundwater can be collected by installing groundwater monitoring wells and extracting the groundwater from the ground via a pump. The superficial soil, the subsurface soil, and the groundwater that is collected during the Phase II ESA would be submitted to an accredited laboratory and analyzed for contaminants of potential environmental concern identified during the Phase I ESA. You've finally completed your Phase II ESA. So what are your next steps? Well, now that the lab results are in, the qualified person in charge of your Phase II ESA can notify you of the environmental condition of your property. The qualified person will compare the lab results to what they deem to be your applicable site condition standards to see if you're in compliance with the regulator's criteria. If the lab results indicate that your property is within the applicable site condition standards, then the Phase II ESA would not suggest any more environmental investigation to be conducted on your property. However, if one or more of the samples submitted to the lab are deemed to exceed the applicable site condition standards, then further work may be recommended in order to further evaluate the risks and remediate the property. If you have any further questions about Phase II environmental site assessments, we have more information on our website, or you can contact us to get a response directly from one of our professionals. Because here at Rubidium, we provide environmental solutions that get you back to business. Thanks for watching.